Iran's supreme leader is dead. Beirut is on fire. American soldiers are being killed. And the US Secretary of State just warned the world. The worst has not even started yet. This is not a movie. This is day 4 of a real war, and it is spreading faster than any government can control. Stay with me, because in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to give you everything you need to understand exactly what is happening, why it matters to you, and where this is all going. Let's start from the beginning, because this war didn't just appear out of nowhere. On Saturday, the United States and Israel launched a coordinated surprise strike on Iran. Targets hit included Iran's nuclear facilities, with satellite imagery now showing 3 buildings at the Natanz nuclear complex completely destroyed, military command centers, and most shockingly, the compound of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Khamenei was killed in those strikes. Think about that for a second. The man who had led Iran for over 30 years, the most powerful figure in the Islamic Republic, was killed by a US-Israeli strike. That is the match that lit this entire powder keg. Donald Trump called Saturday's attack, quote, "the last, best chance to eliminate the threats from Tehran." But as we're about to see, that was just the beginning. Now we're on day 4, and the situation is spiraling. This morning, Israel launched fresh waves of airstrikes, simultaneously, on Tehran and Beirut. The IDF didn't just hit military targets. They struck Iran's presidential office, the Supreme National Security Council, and what Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz called, quote, key regime infrastructure. A journalist inside Tehran, speaking to the BBC, said, and I want you to hear this, every part of the capital has been hit. Communication towers, broadcasting stations, the city's Grand Bazaar, reduced to rubble. Iran is not taking this lying down. Iran fired a massive wave of drones and ballistic missiles across the Persian Gulf, hitting at least 5 countries. The US Embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, was struck by 2 drones. A fuel tank at Oman's port of Duqm was hit. Iranian drones attacked Amazon Web Services data centers in the UAE and Bahrain, knocking out cloud services for millions of users worldwide. And in a chilling threat, an Iranian official warned that any ships trying to pass through the Strait of Hormuz will be, quote, set on fire. That strait handles 20% of the world's entire oil supply. But here's the part that most people are not talking about, and it could make this war even more catastrophic. Lebanon is now in the fight. Hezbollah, Iran's most powerful proxy, which had been relatively quiet for 15 months after being decimated in the 2024 war with Israel, has re-entered the conflict. Hezbollah launched 3 waves of attacks on Israel Tuesday morning, targeting the Nafar military base in the Golan Heights and 2 Israeli air bases in the north. Israel's response? Devastating. Extensive airstrikes on Beirut's southern suburbs. And now, Israel's ground troops are advancing back into Lebanon. Defense Minister Katz authorized the IDF to, quote, advance and seize additional strategic areas in Lebanon. 52 people have already been killed in Lebanon in just 1 day. 30,000 civilians have been displaced. The ceasefire that was brokered just 15 months ago, it's completely gone. Now let's talk about what this war means for your wallet. Because this conflict is not just a Middle East problem anymore. Europe's natural gas prices surged 33% in a single day. UK gas prices hit their highest level since January 2023. Why? Because Qatar, one of the world's biggest LNG exporters, halted production after Iranian attacks on its facilities. That's roughly 1/5 of the entire world's liquefied natural gas supply, gone overnight. Saudi Arabia suspended production at its largest domestic oil refinery. The Strait of Hormuz, which is now being threatened, routes 20% of global oil through a narrow waterway between Iran and Oman. If that closes, we are looking at an energy crisis that will dwarf the 2022 Russia-Ukraine shock. This war will hit your gas pump, your heating bill, your grocery prices. No one in the world is shielded from what is happening right now. Now let's talk about the human cost. Because behind all these geopolitical headlines are real people. 787 people have been killed in Iran, according to the Iranian Red Crescent. Human rights groups put the number at 742 civilians, including 176 children. 6 American service members have been killed since this war began. 3 US F-15E Strike Eagle fighter jets were shot down over Kuwait, by their own side, in a friendly fire incident. The crews ejected safely, but that tells you how chaotic this battlefield has become. And then there's the thousands of Americans trapped in the Middle East right now. The US State Department issued an emergency order urging Americans across 16 countries, from Israel to the UAE, Qatar to Jordan, to, quote, depart now. But here's the problem. Airports are closed. Airspace is shut down. Qatar Airways has suspended all flights. Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv? Closed. Congressman Ted Lieu put it bluntly. You told Americans to leave via commercial flights when you know the airports are closed. And finally, here's where the geopolitics gets really interesting. Secretary of State Marco Rubio stood at a podium and told the world, the hardest hits are yet to come. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth clarified the mission is not regime change, it is to destroy Iran's military power and end its nuclear program. But he did not rule out ground troops. The UK is now involved. RAF pilots are literally in the skies shooting down Iranian missiles. But the UK-US relationship is fracturing. British PM Keir Starmer said he does not believe in regime change from the skies. Trump's response to that? He called the UK not helpful and said the relationship is obviously not what it was. France, according to Trump, has been great. The UK? A very different story. Day 4. And it is getting worse by the hour. The BBC's international editor Jeremy Bowen said it best. It is way too soon to have any idea of when or how this war will end. If this video gave you clarity on the most important news story in the world right now, hit that subscribe button. Because this is moving faster than any news channel can keep up, and I'll be here every single day breaking it all down for you. Stay informed, stay sharp. I'll see you in the next one.